like, I mean, you gave me, I think right out of the gate with Jazz in Europe, I interviewed Bobby Santabria. I think he was actually my first one with you guys, and he's been nominated for 10 Grammys.
Yeah. But yeah, I always intended to throw you in at the deep end because I believed very quickly in your abilities and capabilities, and wanting to, I admitted that it was a well-intended kick up the bottom, as they say in England, but in a positive way, because you certainly showcased to me just in our conversations that you would approach this challenge head on, which is what I loved. And all of the people that you and I now have come to know who are musicians that I've said, hey, have a go at interviewing these famous people, because they've looked at them and gone, oh my God, I can't do that. Yes, you can. And, it's like, what's his name? The bass player, Christian McBride. Yeah.
I pretty much, I won't say I'm fearless, but I'm pretty fearless, because I've learned over the years that I've learned the most when I was really the most uncomfortable. So interviewing people like Christian, who is a really good guy, I admire him as a bass player, of course. But he's much more than a bass player. He's an artistic director for a bunch of globally known music festivals. And I mean, there's a really deep history, just like Bobby Santabria. Bobby is, some people may or may not know the name, but you definitely heard his music. And he's a Latin jazz legend. He's known as a sort of an encyclopedia of Latin jazz. So those kind of guys, and it's even both Christian and Bobby, like the history is so deep that you could literally talk to them for 4 hours and you're still not going to cover everything. So you have to kind of figure out, okay, well, what am I going to talk about? Like, obviously you're going to talk about Miles, and you're going to talk about, the stuff that really heavily influenced them and that kind of thing. But it's tricky, like trying to figure out, or same with Billy Sheehan or Rudy Sarzo, like there's so much history. You have to kind of figure out, okay, within this 45 minutes or an hour, what am I going to cover? it's a bit of a challenge.
You are fearless, but you're also humble. And, I'm here to tell people, some people go, oh, name dropping. But when you've been in the industry a long time, and you like yourself, you just happen to have worked with Miley Cyrus, Gary Puckett, when you're talking to J-Lo. These are people that, you've spent quality time with behind the scenes.
The one thing that I've learned with those people, like, I sat in a rehearsal room with J-Lo for 2 months in Hollywood, prepping her Dance Again tour. And same thing with Miley. We sat in a rehearsal room in Burbank for, a week and a half, and then did some stuff for iHeart. But what I learned about those guys is they're just people. I mean, obviously they're famous, but when you get them alone away from all this stuff, they're just normal people, and they act normally like we would act. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're not happy, or whatever it is. But that's a really good lesson, because, for the interviewing thing, once you know that, like, we all put our pants on the same way, we all do certain things the same way. That's sort of like the great equalizer. Then it becomes, what kind of information are you trying to get from them, and what are you trying to disseminate with their history and who they are as a person. Just figuring that out sort of like is the challenge at that point, right? You kind of forget about the famous part of it. You try to move past that, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, but by the same token, for the people that are listening, when you do have that accessibility, we're in a situation now where publicists are contacting us and saying, and as an influencer with integrity, and that's the thing that really is the branding now, is that people are recognizing the importance of that in a world where authenticity is far more valued now than I think this sort of surface veneer that people were used to and perhaps just smothered with for a certain period of time, and that people have said, I don't want that anymore, I want real. And I think that the lockdown has given people opportunity to reflect, the music industry as a whole, I hope, and that as we come out the other side, of course, we'd all want to let our hair down, and it's going to be difficult for both you and I know, but
right.
But metaphorically speaking, anyway, at least, once that's passed, we'll see. I'm really hoping that people will look forward to sharing their own individual stories, and that people will value those autobiographical components of people, and that we all say that that's something that I want to listen to. That's an interesting perspective on whatever it is. And the music industry as a whole needs to, and it does, and it will constantly evolve and change. And the musician themselves, the perception of what success really is, I think, changing for people. They're looking much more about quality of lifestyle.
In terms of the music business, I think it's awesome because I'm starting to see a lot of shows come back, and I just saw a bunch of huge festivals being posted in the last week, which is exciting because, of course, I'm a musician too. I think what you're saying about the lockdown and kind of people reprioritizing certain things, I think that's definitely true. And I think that an artist, part of what they do is the truth is so important in what you do. And people can kind of pick up on that when it's real and when it's not real. Yeah. And, not all the time, but generally I think that's true. And also too, what is success? Success is different now than it used to be, because now people aren't really buying, they're not really buying records, they're doing downloads, right? That's how they determine success. The same in our case, hitting 100,000 downloads is a really big deal in the podcasting world. At the same time, it doesn't mean the work stops. It's like you celebrate that, and then we keep moving because we have a lot of we've got a lot of people coming up, but we got people that are out. I've got videos I need to release, but definitely thankful for all the support. Also from companies like Switcher Studio, they contacted us about working with us, which is exciting. It's a great app, and they're great folks, and they're helping us do what we do. Also, Shure Microphones, the folks at Mixerbox in Asia and USA, they've been really supportive. We did a live for them, and they have 200 million followers around the world. So we're looking forward to doing more with them. But like all those opportunities, I think just come because we've been working hard, and we've been really fortunate to get great guests. I think it's really all about the guests, don't you?
I do. Between what we're doing is we're producing another thing that I'm very proud of is that the quality of what we produce. Right. When you have people that are industry icons that have been doing this for years and years and years, and they comment so positively on the package as a whole that we're doing. From my point of view, what I'm focused on is the sound quality, and when we release it and how we release it as well, and what you provide me. So that whole package that we're offering, to me, is vitally important. And one of the things that people may not recognize and understand, that where you and I are going, yes, it's fantastic to achieve 100,000. And it was agony in some respects for me, just click, click, click.
The updates, I'm like, we'll get there.
Yeah, I know, you were really great. So it's okay, it's fine.